Hello, this is Robert Hollis. I hope you're having a great day. This is day four of the mentorship program. One of the things that I hope that each and every one of you, as you've sent me emails and stuff and shared with me all the incredible, not only testimonials, but the pops that you're getting, what I call, points of passion, places that when you pop, you finally really get it. And one of the things is once you get it and your belief level gets to a place where you know that for a fact that you can do this, and then when you know the results that other people have gotten, that's when all of a sudden the lights go on like crazy. So, as we continue to keep posting these videos, someone actually said something great for me today where they said, listen, Robert, you told us to go to this email called Mentor Alcoholic. Mentoraholic. No, Mentoraholic. There we go. I apologize. Mentoraholic.com. Robert at mentoraholic.com. And make sure that you get plugged in so we can monitor back and forth and really help each other. And that's such a key. And the person said to me, but I just thought that was for new people. And I said, well, listen, have you ever seen the mentorship program before? And they go, no. And I go, well, you're a new person. So thank you very much David for saying that. Another thing is when we were talking on day 1, 2, and 3, I want you to know that there's a lot of people that not only have been sending me now their perfect days. We'll keep working on the emotional part of it. Tomorrow also, I got just incredible things to share with you. But one of the things that I want to talk about today is, again, just the mentality of the attitude, the state of mind, and what you got to do to make this work. I'm going to share with you some key principles today that if you follow them the way my mentor taught me, they'll work for you. Again, it's the same thing I've taught, 45 other people on how to make $1 million in a year. So this stuff is really super powerful. And I'm going to even be like super high tech. I'm joking. I'm actually just going to write on a piece of paper and hold it up to the camera. I want it to be as simple as possible. Now, the first thing that I said in the next couple of videos is I need you guys to see this again. This is my notebook of my very first training that I went to. Now, let me tell you a really quick story behind this. If you heard it before, I really want to emphasize some key points in it. I was at a really bad time in my life. And a lot of people are always scared to call people. We'll get on a whole thing about judgment later. But we are always scared. We always got this thought in our mind that we're worried. And I write about it in my book with Sean Hennigan. This guy was dating my cousin, Veronica. We all called her Nikki. And I met this guy just a couple of times at some barbecues, some family events. And he knew me as Bobby the auto mechanic, the guy that worked at Toyota. And so understand that we didn't know each other. We didn't hang out. We didn't know anything about each other. But I think that one time he asked me a question about his car. And when he did that, that's how we got our numbers exchanged or so on and so forth. So anyway, one of the things that ended up happening is that I got hurt. Well, when I got hurt and put on workman's comp, as you guys know the story, not only was it very rough for my first, 6 months, but I did have quite a bit of an outlook that I would get my knee worked on. I'd get surgery done on it. After the surgery that, I'd rehabilitate it. And then after I rehabilitated it, I was going to go back and be an auto mechanic. And I tell you, ladies and gentlemen, I just really knew in my heart of heart that regardless of what they said, that I was going to rehabilitate my knee. And I can remember going through some very hardships financially at that time, because I was taking home about, $3,000 a month. This was back in 1985, 1986. And all of a sudden my workman's comp was $900. Now, if you know a lot of people they're living paycheck to paycheck to paycheck already. And I was one of those people. I had, loans on my motorcycle. I had to give my motorcycle back. I had loans on my toolbox. I had to give a lot of my tools back. I had loans on everything. I maxed out my credit cards. I did everything. So I want each and every one of you, like the story yesterday in day 3, is I was at the worst place I could possibly be. I even remember during that time, which was really, really difficult for me, is I didn't think that I could really, really take care of my son. This is hard for me. And so what I did is I actually got a hold of his mother. I got married at 20 years of age. And when my son was 18 months old, his mother said that he didn't want to be married to us anymore. So I said, listen, if you don't want to be married to me, you're not going to take my son. And she said, I don't want him. So now here I am, a single parent, taking care of Robert Hollis Jr. What was during these hard times when I didn't have any money that I called her up and said, listen, do you want to spend some time with your son? And I actually sent him to go spend time with his biological mother at that time. Also, I had a relationship at that time with my wife now named Terry. We were, just dating at the time, had been together probably for 4 years at that time, maybe close to 5. And what I did is I told her that I wasn't worthy. And that she needed to go back home to Montana. So I wanted to share with you really quickly the mindset that I was in. So I no longer, am in a relationship that went bad. Then, I send my son off because I need to get my life together. I'm being, evicted and out of my home, and I'm hiding my car from the repo man. Okay. And so that's when Sean Hannigan called me up, because on my 6th month going in and having my knee checked on, they said that it wasn't repaired enough and I had to have another surgery done. And they were telling me it was going to be 6 more months of rehab. Now, why am I telling you this story before I go into this really exciting thing I'm going to share you? Is because I need you to understand that I was extremely desperate. Everything in my life was awful. And I had humbled myself. I always tell people all the time, you're either inspired to listen to someone or you're desperate to listen to someone. It's under inspiration or desperation. And so I just wanted to set the ground rules of sharing you just how desperate I was. So Sean Hannigan calls. I go meet this guy, Bill Gould, and he shows me his check for $62,000 that was attached to the stub. And he did a presentation, and I'm going to talk about in the videos going on through this mentorship program, how to do a 7-step effective presentation. Because when you cover certain steps in a certain way, things click off in a person's head that gets them to say yes. All right. And so after I seen this guy, Bill, he went back to San Diego. I seen him in the One Wilshire building downtown LA, and I lived in the San Fernando Valley. So that was about 2.5 hours of traffic there. And so after he leaves, then what I do is a part of the story that I think is very important that I tell, so you get a framing on this, is I learned from a guy. He's no longer with us. His name is Peter. And then there was this other guy named Craig. And these guys were my quote unquote upline sponsors. And Craig was, he said that he was a #1 salesperson for Britannica encyclopedias. This guy was the salesman of salesmen. And he had all these things that he told me to do, go door to door and put together these boxes, that we got from donut shops, and we would put slots in them. And if you registered your name in them, you got a trip to Hawaii. If you'd allow us to come to your place, similar to like vacuum cleaner sales. And there was a number of weeks there where I was listening to my upline and people that brought me in, believing, listen to me, believing that they knew what they were doing. If the guy that made all the money knew these guys and was hanging around these guys, and these guys got that person to come into town to do a presentation, why would these guys teach me the wrong things? And I say that because I'm going to share with you some stuff right now that is probably going to go against your thinking. Probably a lot of stuff that I'll do throughout this whole mentoring program is going to really shake up some of your thinking. But one of the things that they did immediately is they were telling me to do this, they were telling me to do this, they were telling me to do that. No matter how much I did, ladies and gentlemen, I just did not get any results. So not only was I not making money, and losing everything, but now I was following these two individuals where I just need to be very frank with you right now. If you notice some of the videos, especially yesterday, if you can't tell that I'm going to be a mentor to you one-on-one looking into this camera, and you got to think of me a being right there. I'm going to share some stuff with you that if you don't start doing this, you're not going to succeed. I guarantee you're not going to succeed. One is I don't know what this human nature thing is, where we listen to people without finding out if they're documented. You're going to hear me say this probably almost on every video. Why? Because I was listening to people that were treating me like a guinea pig. They were coming up with ideas. They were coming up with all kinds of stuff. And I didn't know any different. So I was doing exactly what they were telling me to do, and I wasn't getting results. Now that I look back at it, even if I lucked out and got it done, I sure couldn't teach it. And I sure couldn't duplicate it, which is very important point. So the story goes, if you've heard any of my story before, is I was close to giving up. I did everything I could. I really, really put my head down. I was going door to door. I was doing all kinds of crazy stuff to try to make this work. My life depended on it. My living in an apartment based on it. My covering my bills, me not losing my car depended on it. And so I wanted to give you a frame of mind of where I was sitting when Peter, rest his soul, said, Robert, you got to go to this event. You got to go to this event. It's at the Western Bonaventure. Talk about significant emotional events. You got to go to this event. You got to go to this event. I was going, Peter, listen, I'm not making any money. I don't think this business is for me. I really don't. I'm not a salesperson. I thought I could do this. If somebody else did, I could do it. And, I think I'm wrong. And he goes, well, listen, if you don't go to this event, he said, bottom line, I'm never working with you again. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I didn't even have enough money to go down there. I knew it was going to cost me money for parking. And so I drove this piece of garbage Celica, watch my language, this piece of garbage Celica down there, different colored fender everywhere. And I drive down, I find a place where I can park it for free. I'm feeling pretty good that someone's probably not going to steal this junkie of a car. And then I go to this event. And I just went to this event, like some of you might be watching these videos, and I just didn't have any hope. I didn't have any belief. I just didn't think that this was possible for me. And I go to this event and they're teaching stuff and I'm going like, my God, it really doesn't make a difference what they're teaching. It really didn't. Why? Because I was closed-minded. I wasn't open into learning. I wasn't coachable. I wasn't a student. I wasn't interested in listening to what anybody had to say. And so then it came to praise and recognition, and they started walking these people across the stage. And if you've heard me tell this story before, it just cracks me up to this day, because I watched these people walk across the stage and they had made this money and they get this big bonus check and this trophy. And I was like, who cares? Bottom line, who cares? Think about this. If I was sitting in the audience and Warren Buffett or Bill Gates was on stage, made $50 billion or $80 billion, that has absolutely nothing to do with me. Just because they did it doesn't mean I can do it. Excuse me. And so, I don't know their background. I don't know their stories, nothing. So the next thing that happened was all of a sudden this guy walked across the stage. I wanted to try to remember where he's from. I believe that it was Pakistan. But I knew he was from the Middle East, just by his mannerism and also the way that he talked, his broken English. And he walked up in front of this place and he says, my name is Ahmed Mahad. I've been in company 6 months. I buy second Mercedes and I'm getting new home. He says, I love this company. And I don't know why his story impacted me so hard. It was like God hit me in the forehead with a giant 2x4. I mean, it impacted me so hard. And I thought, man, I was talking to a girl today named Tamara, and I just said, I knew that this is what I was supposed to be doing. I love helping people. I believe that if some people have done it, I can do it. I just got to learn how to do it. So I really graciously waited for that person to get off stage. Other people were hugging them and congratulating them. And I waited my turn and I shook his hand and I said, congratulations on your success. And he looked at me and he says, thank you, thank you, thank you. And I said, can I please ask you what you do? Please. Now, ladies and gentlemen, when I say this, I want you to understand that I finally think that I was in a place where I really listened. And he said to me, and please, no one get mad at me. I'm just doing my best to give you the experience that I had. And he looked at me and he says, listen, Wabba, I look at people and I say, you want to make money? Yes, no. I was like, what? I go to people and I say, you want to make money? Yes, no. And I said, oh, okay. I go, what if they ask you questions? And it goes, I say to them, you answer my question first. Do you want to make money? Yes, no. Okay. Yes. Then you need to talk. I get your number and you need to talk to Bill. I go, what? Yes. You say little as possible to many people as you can. You edify and tell story. You get people to money man. Get the person in front of the money man. And I went, oh. That's what Peter did to me. That's exactly what Peter did to me. So Sean got me in front of Peter, that got me in front of Bill. Then Bill disappeared. And then all the people in between, my mentor, they were doing their own things. They wouldn't follow him. I don't know if it was ego, EGO, edging God out. They wasn't coachable. They wanted to be the deal. I still to this day don't know. And he says, tell me who your upline. And I said, well, my upline is Sean Hennigan. He goes, I don't know. He says, Sean Hennigan here? I said, no. And he said, Craig. I said, Craig. And he goes, Craig not here. He says, is Peter? No, Peter not here. Michelle, no. And then I said a lady's name, Sherry. He goes, Sherry? Yeah. Oh, with Bill Gould? Yeah. Oh, Robert. You call company right away on Monday. You leave message for Bill Gould. You find out where Bill Gould is. You go work with Bill Gould. You go learn from Bill Gould. You do that. And ladies and gentlemen, that is what I'm trying to tell you. See, I didn't give up on my dreams, but then I went and found the mentor, the guy that I actually seen this first presentation from. Now, I showed this notebook before, and here it is. And you can see right in here that the dates is October 29th, 1988. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to teach the rest of the day out of this book. Fast start training. Okay. And I'm going to teach right out of this book because this was the training that I sat in where everything popped. I did what he told me to do, and the rest is history. So you ready? You ready? So for those of you that want to just see it, you go, okay, just go to 20 minutes in and we'll do it. Okay, so I'm going to read out of this because I think it's so important. So the very first thing that he talks about is listen to this. A lot of people don't realize this. I'm excited to teach this. I don't know if you noticed, but to get this information out to people is amazing. So the very first thing that I want to share with each and every one of you is we always hear that there's a big difference between average income and average people and above average income and above average people. And there's not, ladies and gentlemen. It's this much, if not smaller. If you ever see someone win a race or see a horse race, or you ever see, someone golfing, excuse me, if you ever see someone golfing, it's one stroke. It's a couple of seconds. It's down to the wire. It's nose to nose. It doesn't take much effort for you to master these little skills and immediately see your results, but also get above average income. It only takes a little bit. So you got to understand that when you start doing these things, do these simple things and master them. Now, the first thing that I want you to do, which is difficult for a lot of people, we stop doing this once we think we know what's going on. And that's called pay attention. See, one of the things that is the most difficult for me is trying to mentor and teach people when they already think they already know it all. It's amazing to me how many people, so like yesterday, thank you, by the way, Stacy, for doing that piece of art, the treasure map. He sent me a deal where it showed a treasure map and then it showed somebody else, trying to find a shortcut. And it's just so amazing. I know I have the treasure map if you'll follow it, and I'll share you exactly how to get there. You're going to get there. So the first thing is called pay attention. Just learn to pay attention. Watch the videos over and over again. Take notes, just like I have. And when you go see the other ones that I have, I think I showed that yesterday, I'll show them again. But these are the notes and all the journals that I got. And if you go through the journals, it's me taking notes on the training that he did again. Why? I don't think I can get better. This man has made over $1 billion, and I still have only made over little over 43 million. So I don't want to keep changing this. I want to just keep doing this. Okay. So first one is pay attention. The second one is get excited. Enthusiasm and ethos is just so important. Bill used to say to me, Robert, listen, before you get on the call, before you, do anything, before you talk to people, if you got to run around your house a couple of times, do it. You want to be excited. You want to be enthusiastic. You want to be excited about what you're doing. It's very important. So first one's pay attention. Second one is get excited. And 3, never give up. Just never, ever, ever give up. Learn to master these small techniques that I'm telling you and do them until you mastered them. Yes, it's mastering the mundane, wax on, wax off. Yes, it's monotonous. Yes, it's irritating. Yes, it's boring. But man, is it worth it? Oh my God, is it worth it? So when you can finally get leverage and other people becoming successful and you get a percentage of their income, plus you end up being in a situation where you're making residual income, I promise you, ladies and gentlemen, it's worth it. It's worth it. And like you've heard my story before, after this training this weekend, the next 30 days, I made over $10,000. So very important. Okay. So never give up. Just get in, go, I'm going to learn this. And Bill used to say this all the time to me. He goes, Robert, marketing is very simple. You take products and services from people that make them to people that want them and people that are willing to pay for them. And if you learn marketing, you'll never have to worry for another day in your life. Why? Because there's always someone coming up with another product or service. There's always another inventor coming out with the product and service, and you're always going to be valuable to the marketplace. Your value is going to be worth a lot of value if you master these skills. Okay. So the next thing I want to share with you is there's 3 key things. And it's funny, I actually changed them a little bit. That's why I want to read right out of the book here. Is the first thing that you got to understand that you got to get people right away is they got to say, is this simple? Is it simple? Is it simple? I said, does it make sense? But people got to see what you're doing. And the first thought in their mind is it's got to be simple. You want to make money? Yes, no. Ah, that sounds too simple. Yeah, but then everybody does it. It's got to be simple. So I need you to really focus on the things that you're doing right now to see if it's simple. Is it simple? Here's a big one. Wow. Does it work? Does it work? That's where I got the mentality of documentation. People send me stuff every day, ladies and gentlemen. And I go, I want to see the documentation. I need to see your back office. I need you to give me one name of one person that this is financially helped. Stop. Listen to me. Stop following and listening to people that won't show you the documentation. Gene sent me a nice message saying, well, what should I say to people? You're already in their company. Let me see your money. Show me your money. I'm taking time away from my family. I'm sacrificing from people that I love. You need to show me that you know what you're talking about. And see, people come up with good ideas all the time. Every day they're coming up with a new, great, excited idea. I don't know if they're ADHD or what it is, but every time you talk to them, there's a new idea. 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 There's a new company. There's a new company. There's a new idea. There's a new idea. I think that a lot of people don't listen to me because I'm boring. I'm boring. I do the same thing all the time, every day, and make millions of dollars. I'm boring. Well, I can't talk to Robert. He's just going to tell me to do the same thing over and over and over. Master it. Say as little as possible to as many people as you can. Build relationships. Get them in front of a video. Oh, my God. Robert's way is so boring. I sure don't want to master that. I want something new. I want a new product, new company, new way, new excitement. No. It's funny because I was thinking about that. I was sharing with somebody today, Janelle. Scott Kloster put me on the phone with her. And I was talking about dancing. And I said, Janelle, listen, let's say that you and I was going to go to a dance, a wedding, a big, big wedding. All the people that you know are going to be there and all the people I know are going to be there. And we want to surprise people. So what we're going to do is you and I are going to just start dancing with each other and the whole dance floor is going to clear out. And what they're going to do is all the people go to the sides of the dance floor to watch. And I said, so first we got to make a commitment that we're going to do this. You know, you guys have seen these husband-father dances where all of a sudden they just break out and bam, it's on YouTube, right? Everyone loves it. So the whole point is A, you got to say, I want to change. I got to make a commitment. I'm going to do it. Then once you make the decision, then all you got to do is find somebody that can teach you. Once you find someone that can teach you and you commit to it, I'm going to do this Thursday night, Tuesday night. I'm going to do it Saturday. And I'm going to do it for an hour, 7:30 to 8:30. Do you realize that now your whole life revolves around your commitment? Friends and relatives call you up and they turn around and say, hey, listen, you know what I mean? What are you doing Thursday night? Thursday night, I'm at dance lessons. End of story. So when we go and learn how to dance, you're going to go through 4 stages of learning. 4 stages. Tell me where you think you are today. Ask yourself this question. The first one is you're unconscious incompetent. You don't know what you don't know. you don't know. Wow, I didn't know about this. I didn't know about a mentoring program. I didn't know, that this is the way you market. I didn't know money, yes, no. We don't know. We just don't know that we don't know. Second one is you go into a phrase where now that you know. So I'm going to share this with you. You're going to know. But the problem is you're still not competent. So now you're conscious incompetent. And like I shared with Janelle, and she just loved the analogy, that's why I wanted to share it, is this is really the confusing, the uncomfortable, frustrating, embarrassing, any other word that you don't like. Because now they're showing us the steps, but we're trying to do the steps and we're stepping on each other's feet. We're going the wrong direction. There's other students there. We think that people are going to be laughing at us. The teacher's there and we're doing it wrong. And we think they're going to laugh at them. The partner we're with, they're laughing at us. It's like, it just doesn't feel good. It just doesn't feel good. And so what people do is they don't want to push through the uncomfortable. They don't want to push through the point of mastering something that's simple. So they go to something else, something else, something else, something else. Why? Because that's exciting until you have to do something, and then you got to go through the same steps anyway. So then they tend to feel uncomfortable again because you got to do something. So do something different. Do something different. No, stay in it. Never quit. Never give up. So then when it goes through, it goes through the next stage where all of a sudden you're conscious, competent. See, now it's starting to work. You know the steps, but you got to think about the steps. So it's like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, turn, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, turn. And so now you're not fluid, but at least you're not stepping on each other's feet. You're starting to get it. But is it good? No. But you're at least doing it. And through practice, you get to the next part, which is unconscious competent. The way that you walk, the way that you talk. I love using this example all the time. It's like driving with your knees while you have a cup of coffee and a donut. Or women, when they put on their makeup, I don't know why they got to open up their mouth. But bottom line, it's like, think about it. You want to get unconscious competent in this business. You want to get unconscious competent in talking to people, getting them to the next step, the next part of the procedure. That's what you want to do. And you can do it because other people have done it. So it's just that simple. So, is it simple? Does it work? And here's the one that we're getting to, the last one, which is, I think I can do this. You absolutely can do it when there's other people that have already done it that will show you, and you can now work with other people that can show you how to do it. So when they'll show you, wow, that's a neat statement. When they'll show you how to do it instead of tell you how to do it. Whole different aspect. It's something that you got to learn to do because you want to either have someone show your people how to do it if you don't know how to do it. So this is when you start getting yourself out of the way and you get people in front of other people. Okay. So now the next step I want to just go through here and really, really get good at here is when you're talking to people, really all you're doing is telling stories. All you're really doing is telling stories. So what you're doing is I pique someone's interest with $1 million question. Hey, listen, could you do me a huge favor? Who do you know that would like to make extra money? Well, what is this? Why are you interested? Well, it depends on what it is. If I'm talking at all, I'm saying, listen, the video that I'm going to send you, I'm telling you what, I'm working directly with this guy. His name is Robert Hollis. He's an author of a book, How Is That Working? He's helped 45 people make over $1 million in a year. 7 of them own their own company. He's made over $43 million. And this guy, I'm working directly with him. That's the video that you're going to see. Now, again, with you're in another company, you got to find that person. And what a lot of people have difficulty with is they just haven't ever been taught to edify somebody else. Use an expert from afar and tell somebody else's story other than your story. See, when you're telling your story and you know all the answers and you're doing all this stuff, that's when the magic doesn't work. That's when the system stops. I had no problem whatsoever for 18 months asking people, hey, listen, could you do me a favor? Who do you know? And put them in front of and put them in front of a video. Put them in front of a video. That's all I did, ladies and gentlemen. Is it simple? Yes. Does it work? Absolutely. Do I think I can do it? Yeah. See, if you keep it that simple, then people are going to look at you and go, wait a minute. Are you telling me, Jonathan, that you piqued my interest and then you told me a story about this guy and then you sent me a video? Wow, that sounds simple. Does it work? I think I can do this. So see, one of the things that you want to do is you want to do this first with the product. Of course, that would be whatever product that you're working with. Then you want to get good at doing it through recruitment. So a lot of people want to learn how to do this stuff and get good at sharing someone with a video and testimonials on the product. Then some of you will be focused on getting people in your business by the same stories. Then by doing that, eventually you're going to get a check that will make you feel like you can teach people. Now, I hope that you heard me correctly. If I'm telling people that they should be asking people about their checks, you one day got to get yourself to a point where if someone asks you, hey, what are you making? That you're happy to show them. You can't wait for them to show them. You're like Clint Eastwood. Please make my day. Please ask me what I'm making. Until you get there, if you don't use the system, you make everybody in your group now use you, and you're not an expert. And they don't duplicate. So now you're stuck. So that's why you got to use the system. So when I met Bill and he said, Robert, learn this, say as little as possible, as many people as you can, build a rapport. You know, the number how I built rapport in the past is I got their phone number and then I set up a time to call them. And that's when I built my rapport. That's when I talked to them for, I don't know, 15 minutes, 10 minutes, got to know them, got to ask them why they were doing this. And then I set up a time to go show them the video. Man, if I had a video online back then, 27 years ago, oh my God, if I had Google Hangout and Skype where I could find somebody, ask them to do me a huge favor, then send them edify, get on a Google Hangout or a Skype, get to know them know me, then me edify whoever in the company is the top person, and then shoot them over a video of that person. Wow, this is so simple. Okay, so I'm reading. I apologize. I don't want to miss anything here. But once you got that thing going, where you can then go into the teaching part of it, and then it starts duplicating. When you start getting people and you hear them doing the same thing, they're doing the $1 million question. They're setting an appointment to build rapport. Then they're showing the person the video. I learned this from one of the other big people out there. His name is Jordan Adler. And he was saying that he teaches his people to stay on Skype and Google Hangout with them while they're watching the video. He's got 3-minute videos. So whatever your company's doing, you got to figure out where those videos are. Again, this is a mentorship program. So if you're not directly involved with me, reach out to me so I can help you find and design that process for you, because it's got to be duplicatable. If it's not there, I got to share with you on how to make that happen. Okay. So now we're going to talk about who are the people that you need to talk to. Again, when you understand the simplicity of the system, you're not going to have a difficulty calling your warm market, contacting your warm market. The reason why is because you'll be able to do it because you're simply asking them to help you out. I don't care if you talk to somebody 20 times about different things. I can show you how to be able to talk to that person. And it's very, very simple, but you got to get to that person, get to it. The next thing is what I talked about in day 2 was you got to sit down and work out this game plan. When you show someone a game plan of how quick that they can make a couple of $100 a month, how you're going to help them, help people that they introduce to get to a couple of $100 a month. So they're now making $1,000 a month. And then from there, you can show them how to replace their income to get to $3,000 to $5,000 a month. You got to show them a game plan. If you get, and again, you got to find somebody that has done that for other people so that you can just promote the video. So what do? Hey, take a look at this. So the companies that I've been involved with, I got a game plan that I can show people that say, listen, go take a look at this. We'll show you exactly how to do it. But I also love doing it, one-on-one, face-to-face like this. So now, what are the kind of people that we're looking for? This is a whole concept of going into judging. You know what I mean? It's amazing that if you tell people, hey, listen, who do you know? And let me contact those people for you. You know what I mean? They immediately will, you don't want to talk to Bill. Bill, he's a multi-millionaire. He owns his own companies. He's always focused. We don't want to talk to Bill. Okay, well, how about Brian? Oh, well, Brian, I mean, that guy, he's never serious about anything. He never ever. And so we keep at, well, I've already talked to those people. That's part of the NFL club. I already talked to them. And by the time you go through your entire group of people that you got contacts with, you disqualified every single one of them. Well, what you want to do is you want to learn how to be able to talk to each one of those people. Take the time to seriously think about talking to a person based on who they are and who their personality is. Now, one of the things that might blow a lot of people away, and I told you I was going to teach you what I know, so don't get mad at me, I'm just mentoring, is there's these people out there that put together scripts. And they say, listen, here's a script, follow the script, because everyone's the same personality. Everyone's looking for the same thing. So that ought to work. No. Here's the thing that following a script, is it simple? No. Does it work? See, people are going to tell me, yeah, it worked. Robert, you got to see this script. I follow this script. I go, great. Put me on one phone, one person. Here's your phone. Call one person for me, and I'm going to talk to them, and they're going to say that they followed your script exactly, and they built a full-time income. Hurry up. I'll wait. Just give me one person. No. You don't understand. You don't understand. I learned from, Max, or I learned from this guy. I learned from this guy. And I'm going, okay, let's work with them. So let me find one person that Max has helped get to a full-time income by using this process. Well, I don't know if he's got anybody. Have you seen their checks? Have you seen if you guys realize, ladies and gentlemen, and I can go down a whole tangent here of things that don't work. Three-way calls, home meetings. Man, there's going to be some people that are mad at me because they're like, no, Robert, you don't get this. We learn this from very successful people that teach people how to have a full-time income. Now, wait a minute. Are you telling me that you were taught by that person, you used it, so you're financially done? No, wait a minute. What? Well, you just told me that that's the way you were taught because they taught it from stage and now they're telling you to do it. So you just decided not to do it, or did you do it like me? Remember the beginning of my story? It's very important that I told that part of my story. For 2 weeks, I was doing a bunch of stuff that was not working and it didn't duplicate, but everybody's doing it. Do you really know that everyone's doing it? I'll leave it at that. Okay. Because people want, oh, everybody loves to teach. Everybody's got these things that you should do. Is it simple? Does it work? I think I can do it. How many people do you know that want to put a list of everyone they know and go through a script and call everyone off that script and use that same script? No. And if you did pull it off, if you're one of those people that said, oh my God, that's exactly what I did. I want to know your results. Are you still getting a residual check from those efforts? Is it consistent enough to be impressive? And second, have you taught anybody to do it? See, I'm mentoring you here. So I don't want to debate you. I want to show you something that's simple, that works, that everyone can do, that duplicates. And when you get this duplication thing really, really flying, guess what? It's incredible. You go through that little bit of uncomfort zone, but then it clicks, okay? So now what kind of people are we looking for? We're looking for dissatisfied people. People that are dissatisfied. Dissatisfied with what? Dissatisfied with the amount of freedom in their life. Dissatisfied with the amount of community work they're doing. Dissatisfied with the amount of money that they give to charity. Dissatisfied with their job. Dissatisfied with their income. Dissatisfied with the amount of fun that they have in their life. They're just dissatisfied. Now, how do you know who is dissatisfied or not? You got to ask them. You can't ask a person through a pitch. You got to ask them through taking the time to talk to them and listen and actually build a relationship. I know some of you just don't want to do this step, but you can do it through chat. You can do it through text. You can do it. But you just got to take the time to give away enough stuff to them so when they feel excited, then you can share with them where their dissatisfaction is. They're going to tell you. And then you can work a game plan with them to show them how you can get them out of their dissatisfaction. Does that make sense to you? Because that's exactly the way it works. Okay, so now the next thing we're going to talk about, again, don't judge people, don't qualify people. Give them the chance to say yes or no. Okay, so now I'm going to try to do this. This is going to be fun. All right. Okay. I'm going to see the way this looks. Okay, this is why you have to edify. See what this looks like on camera. Is that backwards? I can't tell. All right. But anyway, you can see here that you got a prospect. Okay. And then over here, you got an expert, and then you got you. So what we're going to do is really, really quickly show you the importance of this whole transition here. Because when people first get involved, they don't understand the importance of edifying somebody else, edifying an expert from afar. And it's so important. It's so important. So when I got involved, I understood that I could take it all off me and I could do nothing but edify an expert. So what there is there's trust between you and the expert. I mean, trust between you and the prospect. All right. And then what you got is you got respect with the prospect and the expert. Yes. And so one of the things that's very unique about this is when you got trust and respect. Now, a lot of people will fight you on this. Again, I love people that have the right or have the need to be right. You know, they might not have any documentation in their life as far as happiness, success, relationships, given to charity, but they still want to fight for the right to be right. See, they learned information from somebody. They don't want to apply it. They haven't gotten results for it, but they'll fight for the right to be right. They're right fighters. And I used to be one before I met my mentor. Then he, you know, sort of beat me up a little bit like the Karate Kid. You know, so if you watch the Karate Kid, he goes, listen, I'll mentor you, but if you ask a question, you just do what I tell you. And the kid would go, okay, he says, wax a car. And he's like, what? Well, listen, why? Yeah, but if you watch Karate Kid, it's the funniest thing in the world because the kid agrees to be mentored, but as soon as he starts asking questions or says, listen, well, I thought of this, or why should I do this? He would always interrupt him by an irritating, just do what I tell you. Now, I was so desperate at that point in time in my life that I was willing to do exactly what my mentor showed me, and it got amazing results. And again, now $43 million later, it's documented. But one of the things that people do not do is because they're not taught this in their culture. It's one of the most important things that I teach is we're taught to be independent. Again, we go from dependency to independent. Then once we become independent, it's all about us. It's all about being selfish. It's all about being self-reliant. It's all about being us. Why would we, listen to me, why would we in a community, a culture, an environment, all the things that we grew up, why would we edify anybody? Why would we say that someone was better than us? Why would we say, listen to that person, not me? Why would we say that person can show you how to be successful? I'm not at that level yet. You got to talk to them. They can train you. See, this totally is uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable. Oh, like the uncomfortable learning dancing. Yeah. So you actually edifying somebody else and giving somebody else credit and shining the light on somebody else is a difficult thing for people to do. It is so difficult. Why? Because they want to watch the training. They want to be the coach. They want to be the trainer. They want to be the person. They want to be the dude. They want to be the gal. I want to be the person. And if anyone ever confronted them and said, listen, before I listen to you, can I see your back office? No. How many people you got in your group? How many people have you helped make, full-time income? I don't want to talk about that. I don't want to talk about that. But let me tell you what to do. Don't you think this is bizarre? This is weird. And so the first time that I heard this is the people that I knew were trying to be the expert. And so that's what I was trying to do, is be the expert. When I learned this technique right here, I learned that I could find people, cold market, warm market, it didn't make a difference, that I could talk to them. I could build a rapport and then say, you know what? I'm really, really blessed right now. I'm working with a gentleman named Bill Ebert, and this guy is amazing, amazing, incredible, a God-loving man, incredible family man. He's got a heart of gold, and he's working directly with me to teach me how to be successful. I need to be directly forward with you. I'm not making even close to the kind of money that I need for a full-time income. Not even close. But some of the people that this guy, Bill Ebert, has taught has gotten to a full-time income. Listen to this, a full-time income in 60 days. So I'm learning directly with him. And what I want to do is I want you to learn from him. If you have questions about the compensation, if you have questions about the company, if you have questions about anything, let's both of us together learn from this expert, this person. So I'm working directly with them. So I want to introduce you. Is that fair? And see, and there's people out there like Kevin and Scott and Jonathan Puga. You know, these people put me on Google Hangouts with people that are brand new. Once they get introduced, they go through the training, they see that they're serious, and then they say, Robert, can you say hi to this person quick? See, that's called validation. If I told you that I was working directly with Bill Ebert and he's the mentor, then if you log into the system, you see the videos, then the next step is, guess what? I need to introduce you to this guy. That's called validation, just proving that we're not working by ourselves. You're not learning from me. And what people do on the internet right now is what they do is they try to be the person. See, they're either pitching them with product, pitching them with the opportunity, or pitching them on the company's story or the owner's story, or even testimonials. Well, there's only one step to go from there. That is a sale. That is a sale. So now you get with the person, you start explaining the company, explaining the product, explaining the compensation plan. See, you're doing it all. And I talked to a lady today named Tamara, and she was going, listen, I'm doing everything. I'm working hard. And I just think there's something with me. There's something wrong with me. There's nothing wrong with you. You're not using the right formula. You're not using the formula. They're looking at you. They're asking you questions. They're saying, well, how do I know the product works? How do I know this company's legal? You know, I'm not a salesperson. You know what I mean? Is this one of those companies? How much money are you making? How long have you been doing this? So they get to ask all that questions to you. But when they ask me that question, how many people would like me as your upline? How many people would like me as your expert? See, my mentor called it Bill in the pocket. You know, I had a videotape that I couldn't wait to tell people about and then show them Bill. So I got really good at piquing people's interest. I got really good at using the $1 million question. Then I got really, really good at edifying my upline, my mentor. And then I got them in front of my mentor's videos. Once they've seen the videos, after my edification of the videos, then if they got on the phone with that person or a Google Hangout, they were like enamored. Oh my God, I can't believe I'm on the phone with this guy. I can't. Is this the guy that was in the video? Yeah. Is this the guy that wrote the book? Yeah. Oh my God. Now look at the respect level. Do you know when the respect is that high, the person doesn't ask silly, stupid questions? See, people don't ask me, hey, do you make any money? How long have you been doing this? Are you in sales? Is this an illegal pyramid? See, all those crazy, silly questions that you get asked when you try to make yourself the expert, that's when it blows up. If you learn that one formula right there, it's key. Okay, so to close up here, in fact, I think I got a whole video just on this. If not, I'll redo one. Okay, how do you handle questions, objections? I could do a whole video on this, but let me follow it up because I got this in my first training. If people ask you a question, you want to consistently keep saying, you know what? That's a great question. You want to validate it. I don't know. All I know is, and tell a story. You know, well, how does this work? Well, to be straightforward with you, I don't know all this stuff, but I do know this person got involved with the company. They went through the training and they made this amount of money. And learn those stories as fact. And so, you know, stories sell, facts tell. So you want to be in a position all the time to be able to say, great question. You know, I don't know, but all I know is Scott did this. You know, that's a great question. I don't know. All I know, but Susanna did this. You know, that's a great, great question. You know, I don't know. Jonathan did this. And see, that's why it's so important to build relationships, because if you know everybody's story, if you know who they are, where they live, where they came from, their experiences in different companies, how long they've been involved in the company that you're with right now, then what you get to do is you get to use their stories. What did they do before? So people used to all know everyone's story. So when people turned around and said, listen, I'm talking to this guy, he's a mechanic. Oh my God, you got to have him talk to Robert Hollis. Because then we can have the mechanics talk and then go into what we're doing. So again, very important to know everyone's story. So I don't know. All I know is facts tell, stories sell. Always be focused on the big picture, 90 days. Don't forget to keep it simple. I think it works. I can do it. And of course, the last one, of course, in close here, you can see right here, is what is the 3 rules that we started with? Pay attention. Just please, please understand. Don't get mad when I say this. If you already knew everything you needed to know to build a group fast, replace your income in 30 to 60 days, more importantly, have other people in your group replace their income in 30 and 60 days. If you already knew all that information, you knew exactly how to do it. You knew every way, every sequence, exact certain way you're supposed to do it. If you knew all that, then why aren't you there? Why aren't you there? Do you know how special of a person it takes? And I know that you can be this special person to say what I say most of the time is I don't know. All I know is, and tell a story. You know, it takes a different psychology, a different openness, a different heart to not be a know-it-all. See, more people are impressed with your enthusiasm and your excitement and your edification of somebody else than the depth of your knowledge. See, we were brought up in a society where if you know it all, you're a smart person. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'd rather be a not know it all and be happy. I'd rather be not a right fighter and be happy. I'd rather not know the information and be peaceful. I want to open up my mind each and every day and learn from every situation, every single person. See, I want to pay attention. I want to listen. God gave me 2 ears and 1 mouth. I want to pay attention. I want to learn. I wore my mentor's videos out, taking notes after notes after notes, because just like a movie or a song, every time I heard it, I would learn more about the lyrics. I would hear lyrics that I didn't know. I would listen to it over and over and over again, and I would go, wow, that was never there. I swear it was never there. But because of my level of awareness and my knowledge of what I was doing, it hit me. It'd be another pop all over again, because I would listen to it and go, now I get what he was saying. Make money? Yes, no. See, I didn't get that the first 2 weeks. I got that my 3rd week. Say as little as possible. No, I was the guy that wanted to tell you everything. Man, I got you on the phone, and that was an hour conversation. I'd talk your ear off. Yeah, knew everything. If you didn't believe me, just ask me. I'll say something really funny. People used to say, my first thing I sold was water filters. Studied all the facts. I'm an auto mechanic, automotive engineer. I got to know. I got to believe. And so people would say, wow, you know what? So, you know, I've never died. My grandpa's still alive. My great-grandpa's still alive. I didn't know the tap water was bad. And I said, listen, do you realize, you know, that there's 2,365 known chemicals in our tap water, including chlorine? Can you imagine that chlorine was put in the water to actually kill microorganisms and bacteria so that we don't die? But a little bit of that poisoning's not bad for you. So my water filter has 1 pound of granular activated carbon. Ralph Nader says that this known chemical is the same absorption rate as an entire football field. An entire football field. And that's why people use this filter. And people go, does it take out all the chemicals? I go, no, it only takes out 1,600 out of the 23. Oh, well, thanks very much for educating me. I'll go find a real water filter. Why did I know all that stuff? I knew stuff about the company. I knew stuff about the Hawaiian trip. I knew all this stuff that I studied for 2 weeks. I was analyzed till I was paralyzed. And if I got a chance to talk to you, I would tell you all this stuff. And guess what? I didn't sign anybody. Why? Because they thought they had to know all that stuff too. It sure wasn't simple. Did it work? No, it didn't work. Can I do it? I wasn't doing it. I hope you guys got a lot out of this. I really, really do. So learn to pay attention. Learn to be a student. Learn to be a listener. Learn to not be a know-it-all. Learn new things, simple things that actually work and duplicate. Next one, get excited. Man, I'll tell you what, if you haven't done what the other videos said, sit down with somebody that can show you a game plan where you'll never have to work again. You got to find someone and figure out your number for real. Don't be one of those people that, hey, you know what? Can you do a game plan for me? I need to make $22,000 a month. No, give me an income of take-home pay that I need to replace and show me a couple of different paths to getting that done. I'll never forget, the company that I'm with, I sat down and I showed Jonathan Puga. And I sat down and I showed him that. And it clicked. It clicked immediately. He now knows how satisfying would it be? How fulfilling would it be? How much value is there? And knowing exactly what you need to do to get what you want. So regardless of what company you're with, you got to find someone that knows how to show you a game plan, and make sure to learn that game plan from someone that is documented and helping somebody else achieve those plans. Very, very important. So get excited, because once that you get excited about the possibilities, that's when every waking hour that you have that you're not doing what your job or your responsibilities of taking care of your parents or your children, whatever your responsibilities are, every other hour you're working at doing that game plan to get out of and freeing up your time, getting out of that job, making sure that you're not the only person that's taking care of the people that you love, taking them wherever they want to do in their last days, really, really, really important. And then that last one, of course, is never give up. Man, am I glad. 27 years, I never gave up. Do you think it's worth it? It absolutely is. Man, what if I would have gave up my first 2 weeks? What if I didn't go to this training? Bill gave me a call. Says, what are you doing? I said, nothing. He says, I'm doing a training this weekend. October 29th, 1988. What, 26 years old? I didn't have any money. No money. The training, $350. $350 for a 2-day training. Nah, I'm just going to keep charging what I'm charging. So I got down there. I stayed in my car. And I paid attention. I paid attention. I kept it simple. I took it back. And I don't want this call to this show to go any longer. But I told people that I would share a little bit of my dreams. And I left there with a whole entire concept of exactly what I needed to do, not only to make the money that I need to make, but I apologize. I said I wasn't going to do this, and now I'm doing it. Well, I'll just show you quickly. But here was my game plan of things that I wrote down that day in that training that I needed. I thought at that time I needed an office with 24-hour access, easy to find location, executive suites or a conference room. I controlled the thermostat so I could keep it cold. I wrote down exactly what I needed to do to fulfill my dreams. And that was what I wanted at that time. I didn't know at the time, but he was in an office in San Diego. And so I thought, you know what, to be successful, I needed an office. And so I drove back 2.5 hours from San Diego, started working out at Denny's restaurants, very simply showing the presentation and showing a video, and made 258,000 my first year, 520 my second, 785 my third. Pretty amazing. Made over $1 million before the age of 30 by keeping it simple, keeping it so it'll duplicate. And that's the key. So I hope that you enjoyed this video. What we're going to be talking about tomorrow, I'm going to throw caution to the wind, but I'm really going to help people understand those limiting beliefs. So I'm going to go from technical to going back to also teaching you exactly step by step on how to do this. If you follow this formula, it'll work. And I'm so excited for the next days ahead. So I know that you can do this. I know that you can. Why? Because other people have done it. I've done it. You can do this. It's simple. I believe in you. Get other people around you that believe in you. So take care. God bless. We'll see you tomorrow.